As the day's shift finally ends, lifeguards can now head home.
It was about 7:10 when we finally got out and locked up the tower and straight home, and looking forward to having dinner with the kids and the wife and some friends.
Then, 8 p.m. A major search and rescue operation is underway. A tourist from Vietnam has been missing for 2 hours. He was last seen in the water. Lifeguards are off duty, but Whippet has been called back in to help.
I came down and introduced myself to the police and the ambulance that were down on the beach and explained that I'd just left working here for 13 hours.
I mean, yes, it could drift. Like, rips can take fast, but there's not many rips at the moment that are going outwards. They're all kind of going across.
Knowing how the water was moving, I was helping guide the helicopter around the bay, saying this is how I think the water would move, and if it was a floating body, then where it potentially might be.
The man's wife and daughter helped police circulate a description. Off-duty lifeguard Mitch also joins the search.
I relayed the description through the radio up to Mitch so he can put the binoculars out and see if, the rips can take people all over this beach, and see if he was anywhere else.
Asian, bit chubby build with sort of knee-length black.
The man's clothes remain untouched in front of Bondi's worst rip. Daylight and hope are rapidly fading.
When you think you've lost someone for that long, you're probably going to find a body, and for their family that would have been so traumatic. It all started to point towards a bad outcome.
Missing man Gwyn Vun Hein doesn't speak English, but his daughter, Tai, does. Whippet comes up with a plan.
I said, go up and use our PA system and try and speak to him in Vietnamese.
Nguyễn Văn Hành, nếu con đang ở trên biển, hãy lên bờ và đến gần tòa nhà Lifeguards.
Ty's father, Gwyn, has now been missing for almost 3 hours. As light fades, the search may soon be called off.
I was on the beach, obviously hoping not to have to paddle out and retrieve a body, but kind of ready to go. And then the next call that came through the police radio was, oh, we haven't seen a person, but there's a good size 12-foot so shark in the boot. It was literally just off the bergs. So obviously my concerns were high. You never want to think that someone's gone until you find them. So yeah, it was stressful. Mitch radioed me and said, mate, someone's come to the tower. And I said, I'm not taking the family up in case it's not him. They'll be devastated. You've got to be very careful with the family not to give them hope that isn't warranted. And I've raced up in the buggy, and this guy had a singlet on. He had no shirt on in the photo, so maybe it's not him. We've got him. It's going to be all good. I knew we had him, and your heart rate drops instantly, and it's like a big weight off your shoulders. It's a huge relief when it works out for the best.
It's just a really dangerous position because it was on flat rock and there's 8-foot sets coming through. So visibility was almost zero.
The water was murky. You see a shape and your heart rate's going through the roof. I've got the waves washing in my face and I decided to go down. This is where I'm confronted with the gentleman who's stuck on the rocks. I try and grab him, but I can't seem to free him.
It can lull you into this false sense of security. You get these big sets coming through, and in between, there's not a lot of wave, and all of a sudden, what looks like a freak wave will come, and that's basically what happened on Saturday.
An eyewitness filmed two people venturing out onto Ben Buckler Headland.
Oh my God!
Went to the boat ramp and I immediately saw a lady who had cuts all over her legs. That was the lady who had been knocked over and was missing her husband.
We knew we were in for a difficult task. The ocean was aggressive, the rocks make it even more of an unfriendly environment, and we knew that timing was pretty critical. The clock's on for survival.
The lifeguards are desperate for information about the missing man. But his wife is Russian and doesn't speak English.
As it happened, somebody spoke Russian, so I had an interpreter. I basically asked her, can you show me where you went swimming, or can you show me where you were? As we went to start walking to go and pinpoint this area, a body just washed up on flat rock right in front of my eyes. My initial reaction was, oh my God, there's a body right in front of us all. I've got to go and get it, and I'm by myself. The emergency services were up on the hill, and I'm not even sure if they saw it. So I went to go and get it, but the next wave washed the body back into the water.
The risk of brain damage becomes more likely after approximately 5 minutes without oxygen.
It is critical we get in the water and start conducting that search.
He's still got a chance, so we're going to sort of do everything in our power to try and bring him back. We sort of restarted our search around that area, and Beardy jumped off with a mask and some fins and sort of was swimming around.
More police and paramedics arrive. This is now the most critical rescue of the season.
It's very confronting to know that you're about to jump in the water and you're looking for a body, and there's a very good chance that you're going to find him. I had to tell the other boats to move away from me, because if I'm diving under and I have a boat buzz over the top of me and hit me, well, I'm just another patient.
Between them, Jake, Beardy and Chapo have over 40 years of lifeguarding experience.
It was just a really dangerous position because it was on flat rock and there's 8-foot sets coming through. So visibility was almost zero.
The water was murky. You see a shape and your heart rate's going through the roof. You're coming up, you're hearing the crowd. It's really amazing how your senses just start tuning into everything. I've got the waves washing in my face and I decided to go down. This is where I'm confronted with the gentleman who's stuck on the rocks. I try and grab him, but I can't seem to free him. I have to yell out to Chapo, you need to give me a hand, I can't grab him. Me and Chapo are able to free the gentleman. And there's a lot of current pulling against us, and there's so many things that are working against you. We're fighting to try and pull basically a dead weight up on the back of a rocking jet ski was really hard. Jake was able to manoeuvre that jet ski perfectly to give us the best opportunity of getting this gentleman up the boat ramp safely, and safely for ourselves.
Jake's driving was sensational. And then another legend from nowhere, just a bystander, came and helped me and Beardy, and me and Beardy had the arms and he had the legs, and like we couldn't have done it without him.
Beardy immediately begins resuscitation. It's now been over 20 minutes since the man was swept into the sea.
We have to start CPR, and we're not going to stop until the paramedics come and tell us not to. You know, once they worked out where we were, they were very quickly to take over and give this guy every opportunity. And they did everything. They tried really hard in a really difficult situation to basically bring this guy back.
After 10 minutes of CPR, paramedics pronounced the man dead.
This is just a really tragic accident. Unfortunately, this couple had ventured out in an area that they were unfamiliar with. You know, their intention wasn't to come down to Bondi with any risky behaviour. They were just not informed about the power of the ocean.
I just happened to have looked towards the rip and I saw a couple of heads start drifting off the bank. The father holding up his son with one hand, his head was submerged and he was waving with his other hand. So he was underwater that whole time I paddled out. His head never broke the surface. The dad only had seconds.
Max, get your breath back. All right.
I just tried to comfort them, relax them.
The patients don't have the strength to climb on the board, and they're drifting further from shore.
And in that south end, the rip pulls quite hard out to sea. And we did just start to go further and further out.
Hold on, everyone.
As waves continue to swamp them, the young boy starts to panic. He's struggling to keep the boy calm.
The kid was terrified. He was so young, especially with the waves coming over as well. It would have been a lot to deal with.
Essentially, it was ski up down the south corner.
On my way, copy.
If the terrified boy can just hold on, more help is on the way.
Mario came down and then the clubby ski was on duty as well. The father got on the clubby ski and the son on the ski with Mario, and that was handy. That saved the day.
As frantic family members watch on, first the son, then the father make it safely back to the beach. Ishwa and his family are visiting from Melbourne. It's a beach day they'll never forget.
Each wave, pulled me down, Every time I tried to come up, it was pulling down, down, down. Oh, great job, I owe entire my life for that, guys.
I would have to put that as, the most satisfying rescue I've done in terms of how close it was to being a proper disaster.
Canadian tourist Sean was dumped by a wave and slammed headfirst into the sand.
How's that feel?
If he's broken any bones, sudden movement could leave the father of two crippled.
Don't remember lifeguards. Can you call us an ambulance?
Sean's wife is unaware her husband has suffered a neck injury.
Is your mum here?
My mom's on the beach.
Yeah. You might have to go get your mum.
But Sean's neck might be the least of his worries on the family's dream holiday.
Sure, my wife's going to be very happy. This was our only day at the beach. Colorado instead.
Yeah, no, I'm going down there. I'll love it.
There, please, there, right?
Finally, Sean's wife arrives.
What's going on?
You always have to do this when we're on vacation. I'm pissed off.
Get in. He's injured. Anyway, is that your wife? Yes, your wife.
When she speaks, that's a problem.
Oh my goodness. I know how to get it. It's not my fault. No, it's not your fault at all. Planted by some kid behind me. It's a dangerous country.
His wife is unimpressed. Maxi steps in as peacemaker.
Calm down a little bit, darling.
Shipping workers.
What happened?
We're on bloody vacation.
Yeah, I know you're on vacation, but...
Just wait her to cool down. She's off ahead.
Is she? Yeah. Is she? Do we need another ambulance for the wife?
I don't know, maybe.
That's what I get deal with.
But Maxi may have bitten off more than he can chew.
I've been shaken up for 2 years like this, okay? So don't tell me he's shaken up.
Might give you something just to stop you vomiting on the way.
Maxi is concerned Sean may need special protection.
The copper's hanging around too, mate, so if she, if she carries on...
Now Chapo tries to calm the situation.
I'll explain it all to you. It's just that he might have done a little bit of spinal cord damage. No, he hasn't done any spinal cord damage. He might have done his neck. And if we don't do this, it'll get worse.
Cheerio, Dad.
How am I supposed to go there?
Taxi or...
Are you serious? In Montreal, we go in the ambulance with him.
Yeah. They'll sort it out.
I think we'll be able to fit you in. Everyone going to be nice and calm? Yeah? All right. 1, 2, 3, up. He's going to make it, all right? It's not too serious. Come on.
Bondi's newest lifeguard, Italian Mario Marfella, is faced with a serious rescue. But it's also an opportunity to prove himself to senior lifeguard Kerbox.
Yeah, we could obviously tell as soon as we jumped in the rhino this was going to be a serious one. Although it was only a small day, it was quite close to shore, we could see these two people were in serious trouble.
When I got the board, I had to make the quickest decision because there was 2 persons in the water. I seen one at the boogie board. I realized that the guy was in the most dangerous situation, so I went straight into that guy. I paddled as fast as I could. I put him on, and he started to say to me, my wife, my wife, my wife.
She's flooding.
As I stay calm, she can float.
Okay, thanks.
If the woman can't swim and loses hold of the boogie board, the situation could quickly become a tragedy.
So as soon as I brought the man to the shore, I spun around and started paddling as fast as I could for his wife.
If anyone's ever been stuck in a rip, you get quite exhausted trying to fight against it. And as this guy got brought back to shore by Mario, he kind of collapses. You could physically see he was drained.
When I got back to the shore, I started reassuring them and asking if they swallow any water. They answered no, which was good.
It's okay, guys. All right, buddy. I'm so yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We're here for this.
So the moment they hug each other, and they say to themselves, yes, we're still alive. That was so good for me because it just made me realize that we're here for this,
The man, a New Zealand tourist, and his wife, who's from Korea, are grateful to the new lifeguard, Mario from Italy.
My wife can't swim, so I was just panicking about her. Right?
Oh, you're very, very scary. Yeah.
Oh, my body's just got no energy left in it.